Well, remember, I told you collagen is 3 chains of protein that are twisted together, right, into a triple helix. Sulfur actually stabilizes that triple helix, right? They actually make the helix even stronger to give it that strength, that tensile strength. And by the way, leafy greens like spinach, as I said, but also kale, a good source of vitamin A. Talked about vitamin C earlier to help your body as a coactor coenzyme to actually create collagen. Well, vitamin A actually has been shown to trigger new collagen production in aging skin. Alright, so here's another great way to actually have your greens. Now stimulating collagen production in your skin. So spinach, kale, great way to do that. When you've got collagen in your skin, guess what? You're going to have greater elasticity. Alright? You want it to be able to stretch and spring back. Alright? Snorts. Smoother appearance. Alright? That's also what you want. It's supposed to wrinkly. Lots of lines. Sulfur-rich vegetables are something you can easily add to your diet. Some of them that I love. I like broccoli. I like broccoli rub. I like regular broccoli. By the way, here's a little pro tip. When you buy broccoli, don't just get the feuettes. Alright? Unless you're going to buy frozen, and they usually just sell you the feuettes. Feuettes are good. They actually have those sulforaphane. But what you need to know is that a broccoli plant is a really it's got a long trunk, like a stem, and then it's got the feuettes at the very end. Mostly the stem that's plant is mostly stem. Alright? And we tend to eat only the feuettes. But if you go to the farmer's market, buy the whole broccoli. Don't throw the stem away. Alright? A lot of people used to trim the stem and throw it away. I used to do it 2 years ago. But keep the stem because the sulforaphane and a lot of the good beneficial dietary fiber are in the stem. And if you go, wait a minute, I have no idea what I'm going to do with the stem. Here's what I tell you I do. Alright. Sometimes you want to skin the stems because the outside skin of the stem can be a little tough, dietary fiber. Alright. But sometimes you want to basically skin it and slice it in like diagonally into kind of medallions. Now, you can actually saute that in it. Absolutely delicious. Whatever you're cooking the tops on, you could saute the broccoli stems separately. Or guess what? You don't want to deal with the broccoli stems that way. Put them in a blender and make a broccoli soup. You know, one of the favorite broccoli soups that I have, I included the recipe in here. It's broccoli oregano soup. Try it. It is so good. Alright? And you get all the goodness of the broccoli. You can make it with broccoli feuettes, of course, which I like to steam, but you can actually make it with the stem. Alright. I'm just telling you a little tip. Alright. So, another source of on sulfur in your diet, onions and garlic. These are allium, they're not brassica. Onions have sulfur. Garlic has sulfur. That's why that partly is responsible for that really pungent, potent smell that you get. Wonderful smell for cooking, by the way. Alright, those are also sulfur. Sulfur actually makes your collagen stronger. Alright, and the vitamin A from spinach and kale makes your body make more collagen as well. Alright, hey there. Are you ready to use food to improve your health? I do cover a lot in my YouTube videos, but there's only so much time to dive deep into how to use food as medicine. That's why I created my Eat to Beat Disease course. In my course, I walk you through how to use everyday foods that you can find in your grocery store to boost your body's health defenses. This is all based on my research, and everything is rooted in science. And I've made it super easy to follow with practical everyday tips. Whether you're trying to prevent disease or just want to optimize your health for longevity, my Eat to Beat Disease course gives you all the tools to make it real and to help you get lasting changes that will help you live longer and live better. To learn more, click the link below or scan the QR code on the screen. I can't wait to get started together in my course. Now back to the video. So, a study actually been looking at women who ate leafy greens. They actually have fewer wrinkles than women who did not eat leafy greens as well. Alright? By the way, I talked about the spinach. So since I'm giving you little cooking tips, I'm going to tell you one way I like to do spinach, whether you use like grown-up spinach or whether you use baby spinach. I learned this dish from a restaurant that was cooking Spanish food. Wash your spinach leaves, right? Take some extra virgin olive oil in a cast iron pan or stainless steel pan. All right. Great polyphenols, good healthy monosaturated fatty acids. Slice up some garlic, throw it in there, flavor up the oil with garlic. All right. And then throw your spinach leaves in there. Big pile of spinach leaves will reduce fast into not very much spinach. So you want to make sure you buy enough or do enough at a time. I usually fill up whatever the whole pan is. It will quickly, once the spinach kind of wilts, it'll quickly melt down into a kind of like a much smaller amount of spinach. I saute that. Add a pinch of salt, not too much, because you don't want to raise your blood pressure. And then, if you want to have some toasted pine nuts and some golden raisins, throw them right in there. Okay, turn it around once or twice. You want to throw a little chili flake in there, take it off. Like literally, you'll be done with this thing in like less than 5 minutes. It's the fastest way to make the vegetable dish that I actually have that tastes amazing. And you get your vitamin A and you get your polyphenols from the hydroxione oleoanthone, the olive oil. And you get the allicin and the sulfur from the garlic that you're throwing in there, right? They get a little resveratrol and oxalic acid from the golden raisins as well. See what I'm saying? You don't need to worry about the science, worry about the flavor. But I'm just telling you people who study food as medicine. Like that's what I appreciate about a dish like that. Okay? All right. By the way, so everything I'm telling you about is actually how to help support collagen, collagen production, collagen maintenance, collagen repair in your body. All right? And I can throw dishes together in a few minutes that can actually support collagen. And remember, the more leafy greens that you're eating, the more benefits you're going to have for your overall health. These plant-based foods, they've got lots of polyphenols, actually activate your other body's health defenses and lower inflammation, boost immune function. All right, good for clears throat, your gut, the dietary fiber, helps your stem cells, improves your circulation. It's all good. All right, just make sure you find a way to cook greens in ways that you actually enjoy. It's not those greens that you didn't want to eat when you were growing up in your mom's cooking. Find the ones that you absolutely enjoy. All right, food number 4. Are you ready? Gelatin. We talked about this already, a little bit of the clinical trial, people getting gelatin, the athletes. Well, gelatin is something that's really useful for cooking. So if you want to go on Google and look up gelatin, Gelatin, recipe or cooking techniques, and just click on video and watch somebody show you all the different ways to actually make gelatin. So, I'm not going to go through all the tips on how to actually use gelatin, but where would you actually have heard of gelatin? Because I'm sure we're all familiar with it. Well, remember the Jello, JLO? That's a brand, I think, that we used to have growing up, right? That's all collagen, right? It means it's loaded with those amino acids. A great source of protein. We used to have them as kids, right? And your body needs that protein and needs those amino acids. It's really, really great. And that Jello gelatin, that Jello actually was made the same way that the bone broth is made by boiling down the skin and the bones and ligaments of the pork and chicken. All right, it's a byproduct. The gelatin that you get, you can buy in a grocery store, is actually as a byproduct for the food industry. Like they're making things out of chicken and pork and all that kind of stuff, right? And they give it to you as a powder. All right? And gelatin is a powder, which is collagen and collagen fragments. It's colorless, it's flavorless, can come in a box or a bag, and it dissolves in hot water. And when you dissolve it in hot water, stir it up, and when it cools, you stick it in the fridge. Guess what? It's going to have a jelly-like texture, firmness to it, packed with those amino acids you'd expect from collagen, right? Good for protein. All right. Now, amino acids, by the way, remember, if you have anything with amino acids, your body's going to take those amino acids that you're loading into it and use it to make other protein that your body actually needs. So, what do you do with gelatin? Well, you can make your own Jello. All right? You want to cut your own seasonal ripe fruits in the summer. Go for cherries or go for strawberries or go for blueberries or whatever is ripe, right? That you can actually find. I guess cherries are a little bit later. Peaches in the summer, pears in the fall, whatever is like amazingly delicious and ripe. By the way, those fruits have their own polyphenols and dietary fiber. Cut them up into small pieces. Throw them into the gelatin mixture that you boiled with hot water. Stirred it. And you can throw the fruit in there. Fruit pieces. They're going to settle to the bottom. Alright? And if you want to do it like your mom used to do it, make one layer of gelatin, put it in the fridge. When it's kind of firm, add the fruit, then put another layer of gelatin on it. Now it's kind of locked in the middle. If it's floating in the middle, that's actually how you build those layers up. Alright? Put in the fridge. Don't add any extra sugar. Don't add any other flavorings or anything. Just let the incredible flavors of the ripe seasonal fruits shine through it. Alright? And then when you cut it, you can eat it. You're going to get the sweetness. You're going to get the juice from all these fruits mixing together. By the way, do not do what we used to do. Your mom probably did this. I know my mom did. We used to buy cans of pre-cut seasonal fruit packed in syrup, which is all added sugar and preservatives and things like that. Don't do that. That's so old school and like out of school from today's appreciation of health. Cut your own ripe fruit into pieces, throw them into gelatin, put in the fridge, and then really enjoy some fresh jello. Like let's go ahead and work together and reinvent the idea of healthy jello as opposed to that nuclear colored stuff. Remember, it was red and wiggly, or bright green, or wiggly, or bright orange, or wiggly. Those were all artificial colors. And then the jello stuff that we used to buy, packed with added sugar and additives that you don't want in your body. So you want to have collagen that's protein in your body, and you want to make a dessert out of it. Okay, a healthy dessert? It's another way to actually have fresh seasonal fruits. Cut them up and do it yourself. Avoid that atomic red fluorescent green that we actually had when we were kids. But doesn't mean that jello, I guess we can't use the brand, but invent your own gelatin dessert. Absolutely amazing. And definitely avoid all artificial coloring. Alright? Now, by the way, if you're going to make something savory as well, you can throw a little bit of gelatin powder into a soup or a stew, into a sauce you're making. You're going to thicken it up, right? So that's another way of actually getting protein and amino acids into some of your cooking, right? So that's actually another way to use gelatin. All right. Now I'm going to switch gears and give you 2 lifestyle tips on how to naturally boost your body's own production of collagen, right? Number 1 lifestyle tip, exercise. Turns out that regular physical activity, especially strength training and like lifting weights, actually stimulates your body's production of collagen, right? Because the movement of your muscles and your tendons and your ligaments actually stimulates the cells that remember those cells called fibroblasts. I told you that make collagen. When you're working out, that the pull that your cells feel, oh, I think we need a little more strength. Let's make a little more collagen. So that's kind of a knee-jerk reaction from your cells at the cellular level that your muscles and joints need to make remain strong. Your body will produce more collagen. That's another reason why exercise is important. All right? Now, what you need to know also when it comes, and that's your muscle. Now, when it comes to your joints, you got to realize that exercise is also beneficial for joint health because even though as you get older, you're going to get some wear and tear, osteoarthritis. All right? When you're physically active, again, that stretch on those fibroblasts on your joints are going to basically say, hey, can we make a little more collagen here? Now, it's not going to make a huge amount, but it's enough to actually counter some of the joint problems of aging. Slow it down a bit, okay? Don't need to hit the gym, for hours. You don't need to have a trainer to get these benefits. These are simple types of exercises you can do at home. Squats or lunges or push-ups. They're all ways to stimulate collagen production in your body. The key thing is consistency. If you really want to do this, don't do push-ups like once a week. Do a few every day. All right? And doing something for as short a time as you have, all right, is better than doing nothing or doing it just rarely. all right? Regular daily physical activity of some sort, particularly strength training. Resistance training will actually help your body produce more collagen. Bake this into your daily routine if you can, all right? Can't do it every day for whatever reason? Do it a couple of times a week, all right? Do it every other day. That'll actually be better for your choice, all right? Lifestyle tip number 2 for better collagen. All right, this is the opposite of exercise. And what is that? Lifestyle tip number 2 is sleep. When you're sleeping, your body may be resting, but it's not inactive. In fact, during sleep, your body's factory wakes up. It's a night shift, all right? And it starts doing healing all over the body. And one of the things it does for healing is when you're sleeping, your body produces collagen, all right? So sleep is part of your body's natural repair cycle. Mother Nature figured out during evolution. You know, like you might injure yourself during the day, but when you're sleeping, time to fix things, all right? So your brain is kind of turned off from consciousness, but guess what? The rest of your body is really, really active. By the way, it's not just building collagen, but you rebuild your immune system, heal your gut. There's all kinds of things that are happening when you're sleeping that are good for you. In any case, but building collagen is one of the things that happens when you are getting good night's sleep. So, how do you do this? Well, that's a whole topic for another video. But I can tell you, give you some quick tips right now. Don't drink caffeine late at night. All right? Don't eat midnight snacks late at night because actually, you don't get good quality sleep when you've got lots of food in your stomach just as you're starting to go down. Your body sort of needs to stay awake a little bit to digest that food for a while. So, you're cutting down on your quality sleep time, which should be about 8 hours. All right? Think about that. What's 8 hours of sleep? Go to bed at 1100, get up at 7 in the morning. Does that sound reasonable? Or go to bed at midnight and get up at 8. Listen, these days, so many people are working from home. You can figure it out if you don't have a meeting before 8. You know, go to bed at midnight and get up at 8 o'clock, or go to bed at 11 o'clock and get up at 7 o'clock. That's 8 hours of healthy sleeping. Before sleeping, don't drink too much alcohol. Alcohol also disrupts your brain waves, so it's harder to get good quality sleep. And before sleeping, try to put away your mobile device, your laptop. Don't stare at that blue screen. That blue screen, actually the blue light coming from the screen, even from your phone. Even if you turn on dark mode, still got blue light. It actually has been shown to disrupt your sleeping patterns. All right? So basically, if you're thinking about your body's collagen, make sure that you're doing everything possible to get enough good sleep, which is not just good for bones and joints and muscles. It's also good for overall health and lowering inflammation and avoiding brain fog in the morning, by the way, because while you're sleeping, guess what? Your brain is actually going to be purging itself. There's like a whole sewer system. It drains the toxins that have accumulated during the day. So what I try to do is I make sure that I actually get a good solid night's sleep every single night. Like that's part of my health hygiene is I care about sleeping. And I want to enjoy my sleep as well. You know, sleep is kind of a pleasurable thing. You don't want to be tossing and turning all night if you can avoid it. All right? So think about that. So look, how do we know that this is important for sleeping and collagen? Well, there was a study at Case Western University that there's a medical school that looked at the importance of sleep and skin health. This was done by dermatologists, and they showed that in 60 premenopausal women, all right, between just ages of 30 and 49. All right, that's the range of adults that are before menopause. And they looked at their sleep pattern, and they found that women who had poor sleep, all right, there's a measurement scale that they use called the Pittsburgh Sleep Quality Index. Guess what? When they correlated sleep and the quality of sleep with skin, the women who had poor quality sleep had more aged skin when they actually looked and objectively looked at their skin. They had more fine lines in their skin. They had more wrinkles in their skin. They even had more uneven pigmentation. You know, that's what happens during aging skin. if you look at somebody in their 80 or 90s, they got spots in their skin. The skin isn't evenly colored. Well, that's what actually happened when the women who had poor sleep, they had more, pigmented, uneven pigment on their skin. And they also had slacker skin. Slack skin means you don't have a lot of resilience, right? Boom. You want to be able to actually have resiliency. All right. On the skin, slack skin, you pull it out, it actually stays like saggy. All right. Telltale sign of aging, telltale sign of poor collagen, not enough collagen, not enough sleep. All right. By contrast, in that study from Case Western University of premenopausal women between the ages of 40, 30, and 49, the good sleepers, guess what? They had objectively younger looking skin. So it works. All right. So 8 for 8 hours every night. All right. You want me to be realistic? 7 to 9 hours. That gives you some flexibility, right? Just try to get 8 hours, but 7 to 9 hours somewhere in that window is good. All right. That's the sweet spot for better overall health. And by the way, the other thing about getting good sleep, it lowers your stress levels as well. All right. If you chronically don't get enough sleep, your stress is going to build, and during the day, and that's going to make it harder for you to actually sleep well later in the evening again anyway. So, protect your body's collagen producing ability, get a calming good night's sleep, all right? You know what? Before bed, rather than look at your phone, read a book, old school, all right? It's, I think too of just looking at screens these days, I love books. All right. You want to pick up one of mine? All right. Actually, you're going to be so excited reading my stuff, you might actually not sleep as well. So read some fiction, something that actually, gets your imagination going. Like that's the other thing that we need to be doing, you snorts. Don't flood yourself with little news bits. Read a book that you really, really enjoy. Make sure your environment is dark, your temperature is cool, you want good restorative sleep. Oh, one last little health tip, like little pro tip on getting sleep. Guess what? That old tradition of chamomile tea, herbal tea, no caffeine, just chamomile. There are bioactives in chamomile that have been shown in clinical research to relax your brain, calm your mind, relax your body, get a good night's rest. All right? And here's one thing, all right? Don't get hung up on any one piece of information I've just given you. Everyone's going to be different, all right? Everyone's pattern is going to be different, but just create a consistent evening pattern, all right? That can actually help you get good sleep. Figure out what works best for you. But good sleep is important for collagen as well. So, there you have it. Food is medicine. Lifestyle tips to help your body boost its production of collagen, protect collagen, all right? And get enough protein in your body and also get some anti-inflammation as well. I hope you learned something new with this video and thanks for watching. I will see you on the next video. Dr. Li out. Bye there. If you enjoyed watching this video, I know you'll love the next one. Stay here and check it out and I'll see you there.